I've seen a test that shows domain authority doesn't exist and only page authority does. If so, what is the value of guest post? I'm just gonna go ahead and say that whatever you read is totally
Bad.
bogus.
Yeah.
Like,
PA doesn't mean anything to anybody anymore.
I mean, PA is good, the authority, the backlinks going to the single page or whatever. But just think about it. Think about, okay, if CNN posts a new article, or if Sir Links-a-Lot posts a new SEO article with no backlinks going to it, so it's a zero PA. If we post a new article, that thing is going to rank is pretty well instantly.
hmm
Within a week or two, if we did everything right, it's just going to jump right up there because of the
Yeah,
authority of our domain. Same thing with like CNN or any huge authoritative website. They can post these articles and they just go up, they just pop up in the rankings absolutely incredibly fast and without any backlinks to the page. So I'm not really sure what kind of test you saw, but it sounds like kind of like clickbait, sensational
yeah.
kind of
Because a lot of this
stuff.
value, guys, is going to transfer via the overall trust and authority of the website that you're getting this guest post from, right? So if it's a pretty exclusive site that Google sees as a high authority that's already trusted, then it's going to pass on some of that value. Now, hypothetical, if it was a page that was on one of those sites that didn't have any backlinks versus one that I guess did have some backlinks, then yeah, you would probably get more benefit out of the one with backlinks. But that's not to say that there's no value in something that doesn't have links going to it.
Yeah, I'm also not saying that, yeah, I'm not saying PA or the authority of an individual page does not matter. It absolutely does. The more links that are going to a page and you get a link from that, it's
Yeah.
going to be a great
Well, I
link
feel like this is probably like
if the
a
rest of the site's okay.
5 to 10 year old study that he's looking at because yeah,
Y-
just some of the stuff he's mentioning.
Yeah, this kind of like it goes against like everything we know that works. The way that we like to build links is we do a lot of homepage building, a lot of really natural anchors. We really focus on building the overall authority of the homepage and the domain overall, and then practice good interlinking and let it all trickle down, and then link to the inner pages much more lightly.
hmm
Um, yeah, so I mean, this is the way that we've been ranking stuff for quite some time now, and it would not be possible if this test that you're talking about was actually legitimate. Kyle Roof. I know Kyle Roof is a respected SEO, but
Yeah, maybe we just have to check it out.
I'll just have to respectfully disagree on that. It goes against everything I kind of feel I know about SEO right
Yeah,
now.
I'd have to look at it, right? Because we're just going based on what we've heard about it. But yeah, I know Kyle Roof's supposed to be a respected SEO. So
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know like how new that is or whatever. But I also one piece of advice as far as like reading stuff, like new SEO stuff, or someone does a test or whatever. Um,
look it up.
don't, you know, I it's easy to see something, and I think a lot of SEOs, they'll see like some kind of new article that's kind of saying something kind of sensational, and they'll instantly want to, pivot and change their strategies. Um, there's very few instances where I make major changes very quickly based on, an individual article like that. If Google released an algorithm update and then my whole portfolio of websites were just absolutely tanking, and then
So it was from 2017, I guess, is the one. Is it the one on
okay,
Black Hat World,
so that
where
that's
they're discussing?
that's really old for SEO at least. Um,
Yeah, he did like an interview, I guess, with Daryl Rosser about it. I'll check it out a little bit later. But yeah,
but
it's
yeah,
not a school of thought that I subscribe to.
okay, so he says, sorry, let me clarify. Here, I'll put this up on the thing. Um, so sorry, let me clarify. He tested an orphan page on a domain and the page didn't move. Um, o- Okay, so you're talking about an orphan page that's like in no way.
Like a page that used to exist, right? That you're rebuilding.
No, I think he's talking about like a page that is not being linked to in any way, shape, or
Oh,
form.
okay.
Like it basically only exists on the sitemap.
Sure.
Um, is that what you
Well, I
mean,
mean,
Yaniv?
see ya.
I don't know what SIA means. No, SIA.
Oh,
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's not a
yeah,
fair
it's kind of,
test.
I mean, like, how old was this page? What did they link the asset to? Like, there's so many variables in here that,
So like, okay, so the how when generally, and I don't want to get into deeper discussion about so generally when you're talking about an authoritative website and you have these a bunch of interpage URLs on the website, right? The way it's generally thought about is that these pages need to be linked to in some way, shape, or form from other places on the website for all of the juice or authority to
yeah,
flow
that tie
there.
the room together.
I haven't done like in-depth testing with orphan pages myself because I see no need for it because it's not something like why would you need to not link to a page? But anyway, um,
Well, I guess if we're talking about the value of orphan page guest posts, right? But
okay,
I still, it's like, I mean, to say that it's not going to have any value, I
but yeah,
don't
that
see
I think
that
that's a pretty like unfair.
happening.
It's not worthy of the headline. The headline cannot be only page authority matters, domain authority doesn't matter because we have an inner page on the site that's not being linked to in any
Yeah,
way, which basically means we're not letting it take advantage of the domain's
right.
authority fully, and then it's not moving
But it's
just by
still in the
adding.
sitemap. It's still something that could potentially, like,
Yeah, it's
even like,
it's kind of
move in the SERPs a little bit.
it's kind of an interesting test, but I mean,
To
not
say
having
no
any.
value, I think I can say that I don't agree with that wholeheartedly. But to say that that it has lesser value than a normal acting page that's got interlinks to it, etc. That I would probably agree with. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, industry best practice, if you want a URL on your domain to take full advantage of the authority on the domain, it should not be an orphan page.
Yeah.
That should be the headline of the article.
But I would still take it if I was diversifying like my link profile and
Sure,
stuff, and that showed up.
sure.
It was on a good website. Then overall, I'd be all right with it, and maybe even send some tiered links to it or something to beef it up. Yeah. Oh, Search Intelligence Agency, right on. Yeah. Well,
And
so I guess
just
it's
as
more like a call out on just the concept of domain authority is like,
so he's talking about this is just a follow up to the same thing. So he's saying so guest posts should not be worth anything because they have zero page authority, right?
mhm.
But the guest posts that you're getting, they, I mean, hopefully they're not on orphaned articles. I'm still not sold on orphan pages being 100% useless or whatever, like a guest post from an orphan page. But I would say I would much rather it be not an orphan page because we know for a fact that interlinking is good, interlinking is healthy, and it allows, the juice to kind of move around and show Google that this page is basically worth something to you, that you find it important on your site. Um, yeah, and so that would that this is another reason why the idea of only PA mattering and not domain authority is that guest posts in general, if that was true, guest posts would just not
Yeah,
work.
they wouldn't do shit.
But
Yeah.
but guest posts very much work. um, Unless maybe you get so I think a more interesting test would be to basically build a bunch of backlinks from orphan page guest posts and just kind of see what happens.
Yeah, but see, then the variable is like you're just using the same type of link again. The thing with if you're doing SEO
Or
properly
orphan page whatever.
and you're
Orphan
diversifying
page
things
links.
properly,
Well, I'm
you're
not.
not ever going to like question these things. That's the thing because it'll all continually to work because you are doing things naturally
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. It's just
Yeah,
a weird
it's like
test to do because
it,
you're not
the
you're not
test
messing
is
around with orphan pages a lot.
yeah, it's like if they show up, it's like all right, well, I would have preferred not that, but yeah, it doesn't matter. Like I really don't give too much thought. I put my orders in for each of my assets at the beginning of each month. They come in. If ranking and everything is moving along, I kind of just look at it as the investment is going properly.
Yeah, so hopefully that was a bit of a ranty answer, but yeah, it's weird to test orphan pages and to say that means that only PA matters. I think that's just not
I think these tests were more relevant before diversification of your link profile was so important. So back in the day, when you could get away with being a little bit more spammy with your tactics, you found something that worked, so you just like really used it. You could sort of quantify these ideas more easily. But right now, it's like, well, anything that creates a footprint
and
is kind of just going to give you no positive influx.
and
So
also in like the past 4 years, Google has really, I feel like in many maybe across the board even has really shifted towards more authority
hmm
rather than
yeah, you see a bunch of the big names, the big conglomerate type
yeah, you
companies.
see bigger sites taking over more
Yeah.
SERPs, authority sites taking over more SERPs rather than the smaller sites with less links and less content. Um, but yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think our answer is good enough already. I don't really have anything else to say on it. Um, do you have
He
more?
says, "Thanks for confusing the shit out of me." Hey man, that's what SEO is about, kind of always being confused and then figuring out what kind of chaos works to your advantage.
He says, point is, if DA was real, the page would move based on the domain the page is on. No, not necessarily, because if it's an orphan page, you're basically telling Google you're not letting any of the link juice, none of the authority flow into it.
A lot of this depends too on how easy so let's hypothetical, we put a new post on Sir Links-a-Lot, we make it an orphan page, but it's attacking something super easy to go after. Or I feel like even like, with our site being somewhat strong, like we could probably even go after something medium, but well, we could just test it. We could just like go ahead and build.
But I still don't feel like there's any like I mean, we could test it.
I would still take the link. Yeah.
We'll test it, but we'll test it with like just some trash content and.
But see, hold on. Oh, well, I guess it wouldn't be.
I feel like it's just not worth
I'm
the
trying to
time.
think of the. Yeah, it's not, but it's just fun to ponder. I'm trying to think of the last time because, like, since I set up all my blogs super easy, which is like categories, right? And there's automatically feeds to all these categories. I can't think of the last time I did an orphan page. I used to use them because I used to create BS kind of support pages that were just based around a topic, and just existed on the sitemap, but they didn't provide any kind of really good quality. It was usually cheap content. But it's been so long, and I can't say whether I remember any of those getting any traction in the SERPs either. Yeah, I don't think I would overthink this strategy. If ideally try and get your links to be something that are not orphaned out. But if they happen to be, then I don't think it's the end of the world.
Last follow-up for this one, we'll move on. He says, what you guys say makes a lot of sense also, so thanks for confusing the shit out of me. What I'll say is, I hope you will just take our word for it, but if you don't want to take our word for it, go just ask around in our group and other groups, whatever you want to, just ask around in other places and ask if the authority of a domain doesn't matter. And I think you'll get a pretty a resounding answer that
yeah,
not
or
only
just
page authority matters.
test it out on one of your sites. Create an orphan page that goes after a very easy SERP.
But I'm also
see if you can get it.
I'm also not saying that
then up it.
that the hive mentality in a lot of the Facebook groups is always right, but I think this is one in which it's very right. Yeah, we won't spend any more time on this one. Let's go ahead and move on. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to check the description below for links to our blog for more info on this topic, along with a bunch of other cool stuff like case studies, our Facebook community, and our link building services. And like always, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell if you enjoyed the video. Thanks and happy ranking.